Hi guys, it's only Frankie. It's Tuesday 25th today, and I had my IVF appointment today to tell us where we go next. So as you can see, I'm ready for bed. It's our wedding anniversary night tonight, and I thought, no, I need to do a video now because otherwise we've got such a manic week ahead of us, I won't have time to do it. So we've had our appointment, and I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit down in the dumps tonight. The process seems to be just so long, and it's just really hard to process it, really. So yeah, I'm just going to go through it with you guys, and then I'll sort of tell you where I'm at, really. So I started taking the norepinephrine tonight. So I took the first one. Actually, I took it when I was at the hospital. So I'm on that for 5 days, and hoping by this time next week I will be starting to my period. So on my first day of my period, I'm going to start taking microgynon. Apologies, I'm just reading the letter here. For 21 days, and then after day 21, I'm going to start my buserilin injections. So the buserilin, I'm going to be on it for quite a long time. I actually stupidly thought that I would only be on it for sort of 4 to 5 days in my brain, but it sounds like I'm on the buserilin for, was basically on the day I start buserilin, so that will be probably a month's time now. I need to ring the unit up, and they will book a scan in for 14 days after I started the buserilin. So that's going to be the down regulation scan. So yeah, the buserilin is going to be taken for 14 days at that point when I go in for the scan. And then it will confirm that my ovaries are being successfully suppressed, and the womb lining will be measured. It should be around 5mm or less, and they're going to also check that my cysts aren't getting out of control, so there's nothing of a problem. To be honest, I'm not really too concerned about that. I think the last time I had quite a severe cyst, because sometimes you can feel them popping inside you. I haven't had that pain probably for about a year now. But, you know, I think the last one I had drained was during the ovarian drilling. So we're talking sort of 3 or 4 years ago now. Then it said after 2 weeks of estradiol, I'm going to need a further scan. So I assume at that point, so I will have my, so basically let's go back a little bit. So I'll be taking the buserilin for 2 weeks. I will then have that scan to say that everything's being shut down. At that point they would then tell me to start taking the estradiol. So at that point then I will take estradiol for 2 weeks, and then I will have another scan. Hopefully by then my womb will be up to about 8mm thick, or maybe more, and at that point we'll speak to the embryologist, and it'll be decided on which day I will have my embryo thawed and then put inside me. So the way I'm looking at it, thinking that it's 2 weeks on estradiol, it's 2 weeks minimum, maybe if not more, on buserilin, and then it's 3 weeks on the pill and a week on the norepinephrine. So it's, you know, it's taking quite a long time. Trying to read if there's anything else. It's just telling me that, you know, you can do your pregnancy test 2 weeks after the embryo transfer, and what to do if it's positive. Yeah, I don't know. I thought people watching this might think, well, you're talking days, matter of days difference. But, you know, I assumed that because I wasn't actually on the pill for 3 weeks whilst I was doing egg collection, I thought, oh, there could be flexibility with that. I assumed the buserilin would be about 4 to 5 days. And I assumed that I would be on a short course of the estradiol. So, to actually find out that you were going to be like 2 weeks on estradiol, 2 weeks minimum on buserilin, 3 weeks on the pill, a week on the norepinephrine, I'm just like, these weeks are adding up. And I don't know, I'm at that stage where my mum sort of put it straight to me on the phone earlier. She said, you don't want to get to a point where you're obsessed. And I'm thinking now, tonight, after speaking to her, I am obsessed. I'm literally, everywhere I look, there's a baby. You know, everyone I speak to, I found out today, another person's having a baby. They're 3 months pregnant. And I'm just like, it's just another person I'm going to be seeing getting bigger and bigger. And another baby I'm going to see being born. And is this going to work, you know, or are we going to be back doing this again another 5 or 6 months' time? It's really upset me tonight. I felt sorry for Jake because it's our 2nd wedding anniversary tonight. We were planning to go out for dinner. We've had to settle for a takeaway because I just literally got in from my appointment at about 5:30, put my pyjamas on, that was it. I am done for the night. Yeah, it's been really hard, really hard. Not really want to speak to many people. My 2 best friends from school have been texting me, and I haven't really been in the mood to talk. This video is very hard for me to do at the moment. So I know some people are going to be watching this thinking, well, you know, you're lucky, this is your first cycle, and you know, you should be grateful that you're in the position you're in. But this process has been well, we went to King's back in November, and we're in April, end of April now, and we're actually talking about sometime probably in the middle of June for the embryo transfer. And it's just like, it's a long time for a cycle, and it's starting to wear me down a bit. And I felt the nurse today, she's not one I've ever dealt with, and I felt there was no, you know, generally when I'm with the other nurses, they do sit you down, they've looked at your case. This nurse didn't even know. She just assumed that I'd start taking the medication when I start my next bleed, and I said to her, well, you know, there's a prescription waiting for me outside, because I don't. And I just felt I was just a number to her. There was no understanding of our case, understanding when we had done the egg collection. You know, it was silly little questions where she was like, well, when did we do the egg collection? When were you last on injections? And what was your trigger injection? And I said to her, well, it's buserilin, which is what you're giving me now. And part of me thought, you've got a computer in front of you with, I can see my name in front of you. You've not even taken a couple of minutes just to read through our details. And, you know, especially when you're doing something like this that's so personal and so emotional for the patients, I felt it was a poor show on her part personally tonight. So I'm glad it wasn't just me though, because speaking to Jake, he also felt a little bit downhearted when he left the appointment, and he said that he felt the time frame was never really explained to us in the beginning, which is true. I think when we agreed to do the frozen embryo transfer, we were led to believe it would be an additional 6 weeks on top of what we were doing. But what I think they hadn't actually explained clearly, and I actually do think this was partially done on purpose because they saw how desperate we were at the time, they led us to believe that they meant 6 weeks after the egg collection. But actually what they meant was it's probably a 6-week process once you get back into it. Which is naughty on their part, I feel. So I don't know whether I feel like I'm bad-mouthing them because they've really cared for us along the way, but I just felt a little bit let down today. And today, you know, I was so excited when I left work. I've had a mixture of like feeling a bit anxious about it, but also sheer excitement because obviously it's my wedding anniversary. It's a nice day. I've been doing a course at work. I completed my assignment yesterday, submitted that early, so it was ahead of time. So I was on a natural high, and I just felt that I went in there and she just crushed me back down again. And in a way, it was quite reassuring to know Jake said the same things. You know, even he was saying the doctors never fully explained the whole time situation, because in our minds we thought, right, May's going to be manic, it's going to be injections, it's going to be in and out of appointments, and actually May's going to be fairly quiet because I'm going to be on the pill. So nothing's really going to happen, and yeah, I just feel a bit robbed of it all. But that's the situation, that's where we're at. The appointment was fairly short. We had a lot of waiting to do beforehand, a lot of waiting afterwards. Probably spent more time in the waiting room than in the room. We were probably with the nurse probably between 5 to 10 minutes. We were probably in the waiting room for about an hour. And yeah, it was a case of, I didn't even get shown how to do buserilin because I'd mentioned I'd done it for trigger. The one thing I did learn was actually the dose is very small in the buserilin, where when we took it for a trigger, it was quite a large amount I was taking in. And yeah, basically can't really do much. They can't pre-book any appointments. We've just got a call along the way, and yeah, that's it really, in a roundabout way. So I'm gonna cut off there really, but I just wanted you guys to know what I've been told, and we will probably update you throughout the treatment as such and let you know how things are getting on, and hopefully I can look back in this video, I don't know, a year down the line and say you didn't wait that long, but it just feels a lifetime at the moment. And I think especially when you've been trying for a baby that long and it's still a long journey, I'm starting to resent everyone around me, which is not healthy. And I need to snap back out of it and become Frankie again. I mean, actually, I'm quite a happy person. I'm a very loving person, and I want to be enjoying everyone else's happy times rather than looking for resentment. So yeah, I need to rein myself in a bit at the moment, I think. So, but anyway, thank you for watching my videos. Please try and subscribe. I want to get my videos out there more, want people to be able to search for them on YouTube and actually join us on our journey, especially when we're doing it now in 2017. I feel I would rather someone watch it along the way than in years to come, because these things, these systems, they change all the time. So I want it to be beneficial to those who are going through it, because I would like to be able to at least prevent one couple going in with disappointment like we did today, with at least having a bit of background information, because it didn't seem that I could really particularly find it on YouTube on the run up to the appointment. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I will speak to you later. Take care, guys. Bye.